What's going on, guys? All right, so today we're here in front of one of these Diamond C DSA tilts. These things have become a lot more popular now that we've had them over the last year or two. Steel deck tilt, has a 7,000 pound axle in it, so you can hold roughly about 5,000 pounds, probably a little bit more on top of the trailer. So these get used a lot for things like scissor lifts, small forklifts, stuff like that. In the past, we'd have guys that were looking for a tilt like this, but they wanted something smaller. They're like, oh, my scissor lift's only 6 feet long. I don't, need a 12-foot long trailer. Do you have anything shorter? And really the answer to that is you don't want anything shorter. It typically doesn't work. And the reason why it doesn't work is, number one, the load angle. So the shorter you go on this thing, of course, picture it 2 feet shorter, the axle is going to be a little farther back. And so now when you tilt it, it's going to get really steep. And a lot of these scissor lifts don't want to climb anything over something like an 11-degree angle. The sensors will go off, the safeties will start beeping, they'll stop climbing or shut off. And same with some forklifts. We've seen in the past where forklifts will try to go up them and they're spinning the wheels, trying to get up the, up the tilt. So number one, the angle, just doesn't work as you go shorter. Number two, the actual loadable space on a tilt, you have to remember you can't really use the entire thing. So the reason being, one, on a tilt, to make this angle where it is, they actually push this axle a little farther forward than the engineers would like it for, highway speeds. They'd want it, about a foot farther back. So you'll notice on a tilt, the axle is kind of almost more like right in the center of the trailer rather than scooted to the back a little bit. And what happens when the farther you get an axle forward, the more it'll wiggle on the highway, at highway speeds. So they don't want any weight back here, because if you've ever seen these videos, the more weight you have toward the rear, if you don't have enough tongue weight on the thing, again, it'll wiggle. So, you're gonna have your 6-foot scissor lift, and say you bring it up here and it starts, a foot back from the front so you're not touching. You're gonna land right about here with your scissor lift. So that scissor lift's gonna come to about where you wanna stop your load on this thing. You could, of course, load a little farther back if it's a longer piece, say it's like an 8-foot long, whatever, forklift or lift, whatever. You could come back here, but you don't really ever want to be loading all the way to the tail of a tilt like this, just because, one, it won't pull well, and two, it's not good for the latch system and the hydraulics for there to be a lot of weight toward the back, kind of trying to pull up on the front of that tilt while you're driving. So anyway, hopefully that helps explain, why you don't really want to go any shorter than 12 feet. And, you can help talk the customer through that, and they can understand why an 8 or 10 foot tilt just doesn't work. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.